Hello everybody, my name is Shankarji. Now we'll discuss Class 10 Civics, Chapter 1, Power Sharing. An intelligent sharing of power among the legislature, executive and judiciary is very important in a democracy. We will consider two examples, Belgium and Sri Lanka. Belgium is a small European country with a very complex ethnic population. Of the country's total population, 59% of the people live in the Flemish region and speak the Dutch language. Another 40% of the people live in the Wallonia region and speak the French language. And the remaining 1% of the Belgians speak the German language. In the capital city of Brussels, 80% of the people are French speaking and 20% of the people are Dutch speaking. There were tensions between the Dutch-speaking and the French-speaking communities during the 1950s and the 1960s due to the inequalities of the benefits of economic development and education. In the capital city Brussels, the Dutch-speaking community is a minority. However, they are a majority in the country. Now, Sri Lanka is an island nation near India in the Indian Ocean. It has diverse population and the major social groups are the Sinhala speakers 74% and the Tamil speakers 18%. Among the Tamils, there are two further subgroups as well. Tamil natives of the country are called as Sri Lankan Tamils 13%. The rest, whose forefathers came from India to Sri Lanka as plantation workers during the colonial period, are called as the Indian Tamils. Sri Lankan Tamils are concentrated in the northern and the eastern part of the country. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhists, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. There are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Now we'll talk about majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. The government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish the Sinhala or the Sinhalese supremacy. In 1956, an act was passed which recognized Sinhala or Sinhalese as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. Also, the governments followed preferential policies and favored the Sinhalese people and Buddhism over others. All these government measures alienated the Sri Lankan Tamils from the government. As a result, the Sinhala and Tamil community relations strained over time. By 1980s, several political organizations were formed demanding an independent Tamil Elam or state in the northern and eastern parts of Sri Lanka, which created distrust between the two communities and it soon turned into a civil war. As a result, thousands of people of both the communities have been killed, many people became refugees and lost their livelihoods as well. The civil war caused a terrible setback to the social, cultural and the economic life of the country. It ended in 2009. Now we'll discuss this topic, accommodation in Belgium. The Belgian leaders recognized the regional differences and the cultural diversities. Between 1970 and 1993, they amended the constitution 4 times so as to work out an amiable arrangement for everyone to live together within the same country. Their arrangements are very innovative and unique, unlike other countries of the world. Some of the elements of the Belgian model are as follows. Number 1, the number of the Dutch and French-speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government, and no single community can make decisions unilaterally. Number 2, the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. Number 3, Brussels has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. Number 4, there's a third kind of government called the community government as well. which has the power regarding cultural, educational and language related issues. Now we'll discuss this topic, why power sharing is desirable. Number one, it reduces the possibility of conflict between various social groups. Number two, it is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. Number three, it encourages the spirit of democracy. Number four, prudential reasons stress out that power sharing will bring out better outcomes. Number five, moral reasons emphasize the very act of power sharing as valuable. Next topic, forms of power sharing. Number one, power is shared among different organs of the government, such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. It is called the horizontal distribution of power as each organ checks the others. This results in a balance of power among various institutions. This arrangement is called as a system of checks and balances. Number two, power can also be shared among governments at different levels. In India, we call it as the central or the union government and the state governments. This is called as the federal division of power, also called as the vertical division of power as well. Number three, power may also be shared between or among various different social groups, such as the religious and the linguistic groups as well. A very good example for this would be the community government in Belgium. This method is used to give the minority communities a fair share in power. Number four, power sharing arrangements can also be seen in the way political parties, pressure groups and movements control or influence those in power. Power is shared between different political parties that represent different ideologies and different social groups. Sometimes this kind of sharing can be direct. At other times it can be an alliance and a coalition government is formed and thus share power. In a democracy, we find various interest groups. For example, traders, businessmen, industrialists, farmers and industrial workers. They have a share in governmental power either through participation or influencing the decision-making processes. So in this way we studied this chapter 1, power sharing. So please visit our website shankarji.com to download the notes and the important questions for this chapter. The link for the same is given in the description below. And you can also do some Google search and add some additional information to the existing knowledge which we have. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, you can let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.